Joining me now to talk about this is the former homicide detective, Rod Wheeler. Rod, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan. Sure.
So from what you've heard, do you really think it's possible the killer is a cop?
You know, that is one of the theories that the police is probing right now. I mean, and the reason that they're probing this theory specifically, Dan, is because this person apparently is using or familiar with some of the techniques that police officers use when they do investigations. This person is familiar with that. Specifically, what I'm talking about is, for example, he gets on the telephone, this suspect. He calls the families of the decedents and he taunts these people, but he only stays on the phone 3 minutes or less. This person knows that it takes cops typically anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes to trace a call.
Couldn't he have picked that up by watching a lot of cop shows?
Absolutely, yes, he could have. But that's not the only thing that this guy does. The other thing that's really fascinating about this is this individual, when he makes these phone calls, he does it from a highly populated area. He gets off the phone and he blends in with the thousands of people in the New York City area here. And he knows that it's very difficult for the police, especially the uniform units of the police departments, to track him down. These are just some of the reasons that the cops are suspecting maybe this person is either a cop, used to be a cop, or for some reason or another, maybe this person has followed cop shows very closely and he kind of have an idea as to the tactics that we use.
Is that going to make him exponentially harder to catch?
Not necessarily so, and that's an excellent question. The reason I say that is because cops are smart in and of themselves anyway, and the reason I say that is because we don't always let out the information that they have. I can tell you that the investigators on this case from Long Island and here in the New York City area, they're not telling everyone everything that they have. And they're doing that for a reason. And the reason that they're doing that is because they don't want to, let out exactly all the information that they have, including some evidence that they may have. They just don't want everybody to know because they don't know exactly who this person or persons is.
Also, every police officer has to give their DNA when they sign up for the job. So that means if they find any DNA in this case,
if they find any DNA, it's a good chance that they can run it through a system and it would be a match. They haven't done that yet, though. They haven't necessarily said that this person is a cop. What they're saying, and they're working off the knowledge base that this person could be a cop, or perhaps, like I said, watch some of these cop shows. Dan.
Both of us have repeatedly said the word him. Any possibility it could be a her?
It's always possible. The only reason I think that folks are kind of assuming that it's a guy is because some of these telephone calls, most of the telephone calls that has gone out to the families of the decedents has been a male's voice. So from that, you have to assume it's probably a male, you know what I mean, that's probably doing these crimes. In addition to that, as the reporter talked about earlier, this person is utilizing social networks such as Craigslist. And it's probably a male, and he's going after a certain segment of the population. The question here, now that we're faced with, is why?
Rod Wheeler, we really appreciate your input this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan.